Good morning, good morning. Steven at you once again on Bama GA Outdoors.
Welcome to Bama GA Outdoors.
That's what's up. Well, y'all, today we're going to cook another brisket and we're going to do it direct again. My baby girl said she wanted to cook the brisket, so I am going to let her do everything. The last brisket I cooked, y'all saw me, I cooked it on that big grill. And man, I tell you, I learned so much. What I did learn is direct fire method of cooking brisket is by far my favorite tasting brisket. It was just something about the way the smoke flavor was in there and the seasoning. It just tasted better than all the other briskets I have cooked, hands down. So today what we're gonna do is, today we're going direct fire, but we're going direct fire in Angus. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put the brisket up there on that rack, and I already got it loaded up down here with some post oak and charcoal. And we're gonna get this thing seasoned up. And once we get it seasoned up, I'm not really trimming it. We're not really trimming it. I'm gonna put it in my meat lug. I'm gonna let baby girl season it up, and then we're gonna put it in there and we're gonna light the fire. So we'll come back to y'all in a minute. All right, y'all, my baby girl, she's seasoning it up. I'm gonna give her a little hand right here. We're just gonna go heavy all over it. Come on, shake it. And this is my brisket rub that I made myself. It was so good on the last brisket. I don't think I'll be able to not use this on beef or ever again. It was so good. So all right, baby girl, so now what we're gonna do is we're gonna pat it in on that side. And this is a 15.5-pound Walmart brisket. I just stopped this morning, got this thing at Walmart, and we just gonna throw it off in here and season it up. Go ahead, baby girl.
Oh.
Can you get it?
Open it. Oh.
There you go. All right, all over it, just like you did the other side. We're not using a binder or anything. Put it all over the meat, baby. Not all down the side. All over the meat. We're not using a binder. I'm just gonna put it on here, and then we're gonna light our fire, and then we're gonna just stick it. We're gonna put the brisket on there first and light our fire. And we're going real heavy with this seasoning. It's the basic salt, pepper, onion, garlic that I like, plus some other things. All right, baby girl. I'm gonna pat it in.
I don't need.
Pull your sleeves back, you can pat it in too. Pat it in. Go ahead. See it down there where it needs to go? Down there on that end. See where it ain't none of that? Look, down here. See right down here? Here you go. You pat it in down there. Let me sprinkle it on there before you get it. I don't wanna season your hand. I ain't cooking and eating it. All right, go ahead, pat it in.
You're not in my hand.
Nope. So that's all done now. That's about all I'm gonna do on the seasoning. We'll come back to y'all in a second when we throw it on. All right, y'all, we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna throw the brisket in. We're gonna put it up here on this rack. So, let me grab it.
I hold it.
You can't lift it, boo. It's too big for you. We're going fat cap down. Just like that. And we just gonna shove it up in there. Well, actually, you know what? Let me turn it a little bit because I think it's gonna be too wide. That way. I don't like all this movement. You see all my seasoning falling off.
We're gonna start up.
All right, now we're gonna fire it up. You ready to fire it up? All right.
Fire.
Come on. Come on. So we turn this way. Okay. And this we push down. Okay. Come back here. We got a thing back there. We catch it up on fire. Let it get going. We stick it on this one. Just like that.
Fire. Fire.
All right.
Fire, fire,
And that baby is on right there, y'all. And
fire.
we're gonna cook it like this today. We're going direct heat. I've been wanting to cook something on this side of this thing direct heat, but I figured I'd cook this brisket like this, and I'll explain more to y'all about that here in a little bit. Let me get everything stabilized and I'll come back to y'all in a second. All right. All right, y'all, so I'm gonna sit down here and eat me a little breakfast real quick, and I'm gonna tell y'all about my new my best choice for cooking a brisket method wise. I started off on offsets. I haven't cooked a lot of briskets, but when I do cook, I pay really close attention to the stuff I do, and I pay attention to everything that a lot of people I look up to in the barbecue world, what they do. And I have been seeing all of the offset cooks by all of the big restaurant people in Texas that do brisket. I've been checking out brisket from people all over the country and the way everybody cook it. And then I was like, you know, offsetting is cool. You know, it's slow. It take a lot longer. I don't always have all day to wait on a brisket. So let's check out some direct heat methods. I've been watching a lot of people cook briskets directly lately, and when I cooked my first one on that big grill for Thanksgiving, kind of direct, indirect, there was too many things that I could not ignore that happened during that cook that never happened on the cook on the offset. So that's the whole reason I am direct cooking this brisket today inside the vertical chamber on Angus. I didn't want to roll that big grill back out here. I just figured Angus would be good enough because that vertical on that is actually perfect for doing a direct fire type cook with a brisket. But the thing with the direct cook on that big grill, when I cooked that, I could have cooked that faster and rendered a lot more fat out of the inside had I known the way it would cook. But I didn't. But I learned about that. So I learned that even if I don't trim my briskets and I go direct fire, direct heat, I can get the render I want. I just can't be inside that big grill and doing it so offset. Now I got really killer render when I moved it closer to the fire, so that got me thinking. But the number one thing that got me to where I think the direct cook method is gonna be my way of cooking a brisket from now on, that taste. I have been fiending for it since Thanksgiving again. The taste that brisket had with that smoke being directly in there with it, coming straight up under it, and putting the brisket in there ice cold, in there lighting your fire, and all of that good dirty smoke. Y'all can say what you want. I said good dirty smoke. If I could have gave anybody a taste of that brisket that had brisket somewhere else that was cooked on an offset, the one thing you would not have been able to deny would have been flavor. And me, I'm a flavor person, and I'm a time-saving person. So if I can cook something that I really like with a very, very high level of flavor and cut down on the time, I'm gonna do that. Now that brisket that I cooked for Thanksgiving on the big grill, that did take me over 16 hours because that's a big grill. And the way I started off cooking it, you know, that grill was only running about 280 degrees, but I had that brisket at one point all the way to the other end. The fire was at the other end. And you got to remember, that's a 6-foot long grill. And the thing is over 4 foot wide. So you talking a lot of space to try to keep the heat, you know, over the meat in an optimum way to cook it. And it just wasn't working out that way. Now, Will it work out in the future? Yes, it will, because I learned things I can and should not do and will not do when it comes to cooking big cuts of meat on that big grill. That big grill is awesome for big cuts of meat. You just got to know where your fire placement should be. And in that big grill, I know from now on, if I direct cook briskets in that grill, they will be on the exhaust end. And I will put them directly over it. I got rid of my other big grill. The other day I went and took OG and that other BG to the scrap pile, but I kept the cooking rack. And what I did was I put it up on the top in that big grill, and it'll hold a bunch of briskets. But if I cook a bunch of briskets in that thing, I'm just gonna line the bottom with my charcoal and my wood, because it's up high enough I don't have to worry about burning the meat, but I can get all the good direct heat that I want. In this, the vertical chamber is perfect for direct cooking a brisket. Y'all saw how I had my charcoal and stuff in there set up, and that heat's just gonna come straight up. With that fat cap down, I'm getting all that fat render dripping back into the fire, creating that smoke flavor from the fat. You can't get that when you do it offset. Offset is great if you want slow and low rendering of fat, but I don't want to worry about that. I want to cook a brisket, have it just as high quality, and the texture, I'm not really worried about that, because the texture was absolutely phenomenal. There was some crispy parts, and that was cool. But everybody that ate that brisket at my sister's house, my son and my daughter-in-law and my grandchildren, when they came here, every single person that ate that brisket said they would pay for that any day of the week. That's all I needed to hear to encourage me to continue to cook that the same way that I am cooking one right now. So that's just my new take on that. I've cooked big pieces of meat directly before. Like I said, we grew up cooking everything direct heat, you know, shoulders, hams, whatever. So I'm just getting back, you know, to doing things the way I grew up doing them, but I'm trying to adapt them to different style of cookers. And if I can get all of this stuff nailed down, that's just the way it is for me, just adapting and overcoming on pieces of equipment that I never used, you know, growing up or anything till as of a few years ago. So that's that with that. That's why I'm cooking this brisket like this. 15.5-pound Walmart brisket, untrimmed, just seasoned, threw in there, fire lit, and that thing is doing its thing. I'm already up to about 175 degrees right now, and that's fine. I got a lot of smoke rolling out of that grill. You may see some wafting around me, and that is what I want. I want that thing to soak up so much smoke in the beginning, because once that fire gets to the point to where the temperature is starting to render fat, I'll be taking on all the smoke that I need, and then all I do is render the fat. And when it get up to a certain temperature, I'll just be flipping it maybe every 30 to 45 minutes, depending. I'm not really looking for temperature, just like on the last brisket. I was not looking for temperature, I was looking for feel. And when I could feel that probe slipping in and out of that thing effortlessly, I knew that thing was done. Even though there was fat inside that did not render, that was not an issue at all. The people in my family, they like fatty meat. That's just the way we are. When I sliced it, nobody wanted me to take the fat out. Everybody wanted every bit of fat they could get. And the fat was soft, it was edible, and it had some smoke flavor. The smoke ring on that thing was unbelievable for the way it was cooked, because that was kind of an unorganized cook. I didn't have a method to doing it. I just knew, throw that meat in there and get started on it and see what happens. So that's what I did. But I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna chill out here a while. I just wanted to talk to y'all about that because I am adapting and changing a lot of my methods of the way I cook a lot of things, and I'm starting to enjoy them, and the end results are now becoming something that has surpassed my end results on the same product from the past. So I can't, you know, I can't deny what's happening with the progress that I'm making and what I'm learning so far. I barbecued since I was a kid, but I've always said, and I will continue to say, you will never get too old to learn. You can only refuse to. And I refuse to not learn and grow. I will continue to. I appreciate y'all watching these videos. I'll get back to y'all in a minute. Later. All right, y'all. We've been sitting here for a little while now. It's been about an hour and 15 minutes since we put it in. And we've been sitting up here. I got it down. It did go up to about 350. Right now we're sitting about 305, 310. And it's been over an hour. So I think I'm gonna open it up and take a look at it. Let's see what we got going on here. Ooh, hear the sizzle. All right. This how I would. Charcoal looking down there. And it's starting to render that fat cap. You can see the dark, where the seasoning is turning dark. And I tell you what, I can smell that doggone grease dripping. And I tell you what, the way that smell, man, that smells so good. My fire getting crazy on me right now, so I'm gonna close this back up. I just wanted to get a look at it and see how much this fat is rendering. And you can see just how thick that fat is right there. So we got a ways to go. And that stuff is up under there dripping, and I'm loving it. So I'm gonna close it back down before my fire get too crazy. And we gonna let this baby come back up to temp right here. It'll rise back up quick. You can see that needle, it just took off. Well, that baby sweeping on around. But anyway, that's how we looking for now. And I got these dampers. These dampeners, they are closed almost all the way. I just got them pinched a little bit on each side, maybe 1/4 of an inch open. And then back here on the firebox, I'm using this as my intake. This thing's so leaky, it really don't matter. My intake for the firebox, you can see they barely cracked open. But this thing is putting heat through the whole thing. I'm at about 150 in the main chamber. If I wanted to cold smoke something in there right now, I could. But I'm liking it so far, and if y'all could smell the way this smoke smells coming out of these stacks, man, it smells unlike anything else. I'm gonna keep letting it rock, and I'll be back in another hour and so, or probably less than that, because I'm gonna have to flip it soon. But I'm gonna go on and let it keep doing its thing for a while. We'll catch back up with y'all later. Peace. All right, y'all. So we finna turn this thing around. Let me get my high temp gloves on. So I'm gonna pull the rack out, just spin it around a little bit. Woo! Look at the smoke. This fire gonna get crazy real quick. Oh. But look at this thing. The way this bark is starting to set up already. I like that. Like what I'm seeing. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna spin the rack around. Look. Can't see where I'm going. Too smoky. Whew. I'm on the slide. I can't see for nothing. Alright. There I go. I'm just gonna slide it back up in there. My wood still down there, my charcoal, all still doing its thing. Let me close it back down. Yep, that's what I needed. And that's that. And we'll let that baby come on back up. It'll go back to doing its thing. By far, this is already easier than as far as adjustments, moving it around or whatnot. It's not that hard right now inside that vertical. And this thing been averaging, I got that stack pinched down so far, but I'm staying around 300, 315, somewhere in there. And it's not cooking too fast, but definitely faster than it would be on that bigger one, or if I was just smoking it offset in this Angus. But so far I'm liking it. I'm liking the way the fat is dripping down. I'm liking the way that the bark is starting to set up. Everything is looking good. Hopefully it continue to rock and roll like this. Right now it's been over the fire for about an hour and a half, and I haven't flipped it over. I've just spun it around, trying to keep the fire kind of cooking the fat cap evenly, rendering that fat down. So we're gonna continue to let that baby rock and roll like that. We got all this good wind out here today helping draft this thing pretty good. And so far I'm liking the way this vertical cooks directly. So I probably end up doing other cooks in this vertical directly like that, maybe some ribs and stuff in the future. You know, just different style of fire management. Won't put as much coals in there and as much wood, because that is quite a bit of heat source right there. But this is a big piece of meat, and I'm gonna need that heat for a longer period of time than I would cooking ribs or something. I don't know what my estimated time, I really can't give one on this. I'm just trying to keep track of how long it's gonna be till it get done. If I had to guess, I would say today I will probably be altogether probably less than 8 hours on this cook, which is what I'm hoping. Like I said, it's a 15.5 pound brisket, and I'm gonna see how long it takes it to cook untrimmed. I'm hoping that I can get it cooked enough to where when I wrap it, I don't have to do a whole lot more render. I want to let it rest for about an hour, if it takes that long to get it down from whatever doneness temp I get it at, and then put it, you know, wrapped up inside my little little electric smoker I picked up the other day, just as a little warmer. I hadn't showed y'all that. Let me show y'all that real quick. So as a lot of y'all know, I don't care for anything other than charcoal or wood smokers, but I had an idea the other day, and I picked up this little Masterbuilt Signature Series electric. It's basically an oven. You can put a little smoke tube in there, but it'll never cook anything for me. I picked this up off of Facebook Marketplace, and its sole purpose is to be used as a warmer. That is the only thing this will ever be used for. I tested it. It works good as far as temperature. And so that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to rest it in there. Plan on having this brisket probably tomorrow for dinner after church. I probably won't do a Sunday smoke tomorrow, but that'll be all good. I'm gonna use that little baby as my my warmer to keep my food from now on, and that way I don't have to worry about, you know, leaving it in the oven at night or anything like that. I could just set that thing and that'll be that. So we'll come back to y'all in a little bit. Probably check this thing again here in probably about another 35-40 minutes since I rotated it, and see how it looks. All right, later. All right, y'all, we're gonna get a look at this thing again. It's been about 30 minutes or so maybe since I looked at it last, so let's look at it again. It's sizzling in there, you can hear that. Woo. That's what she looking like. All right, all right. Let's look under the bottom. Can we see? Yeah. All right, so what we're gonna do before the fire get too crazy, we're gonna take it out and we're gonna flip it over and let it go from the, get the top some heat on it real quick. Give me a second. All right, with this wind kicking up out here and everything, that fire get crazy real quick and easy. So let me get this thing pulled out of here. Get my gloves on. Woo. All right, that's what we're looking like so far. Under the bottom, not looking bad at all. I'm liking it. I'm gonna sit it right here. All right, then, whoop, don't you fall. Let it sit right there for a second. I'm gonna turn it over, but I'm not using these gloves. Hold on. I'm gonna close this. Temperature getting crazy. Hold on. All right, I'm just getting my cotton and latex gloves put on here. These little cotton gloves are wonderful for lifting and moving hot meat. Put your latex gloves over the top of them and you'll be pretty good. So I'm gonna flip this thing over now. Let's see here. Oh. Rolling it over. Yeah. It's rendering some fat. I tell you that much. That's what it's looking like right now on the bottom. I ain't mad at all. So I'm gonna stick it back in here and we're gonna let that baby keep rolling. We'll come back to y'all in a minute. Let's just go ahead and stick it in. Woo, get that smoke cleared out of there. All right, hopefully I won't burn my hands. Oh. All right, there we go. We're gonna lock her back down. And that's that for now. We'll come back to it in a minute. Peace. All right, y'all. It's been a little bit over 4 hours since this thing got put in here. And we're going to probe it. See what it feels like. And we might just get a temp check on it. But I just want to poke it for a minute. Yeah, it still got a ways to go. She tight. Not real tight. Ooh. Ooh. That little mohawk, I can't wait to cut that off and have that for myself. Oh, wow. I can't believe that flat is feeling that nice. It still got a ways to go, but it's feeling nicer than I thought. It's been 4 hours. So let's get a little temp check now. We'll go in and see what it's feeling like right here in the nose of this point. Says it's 166 in the nose of that point. I want to see what this little tomahawk feel like. Well, what the temp says on it. Now, that's saying 188. I can believe that because that's an appendage sticking out off the side. I'm going to go in under the bottom in this flat. Says 183, but that's the flat and it's directly over the fire. So if I were to go off temp, everything would be telling me to pull that right now. In a lot of these areas, it's temping well above where you would normally be for wrapping. If I had to do a quick in my head average of the average temp right now, just poking on it, The average temp is probably in the low 170s. Because I was getting temp ranges everywhere from the 160s, mid 160s, to the 190s. So my fire's starting to get a little crazy again. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to flip it again because it's meat side down right now. And I'm going to put it back fat cap down. And let that baby keep rendering that fat up on the top. Because it's not completely rendered. It's still pretty thick. It's soft as all get out, but that don't matter on the top because that's just fat on that fat cap. So let me throw these old gloves on real quick. I'm not even gonna pull the whole rack out. I'm just gonna slide it out enough that I can flip it over and hurry up because that fire is getting a little crazy on me. Oh boy, look at that. Can y'all see that? Look at that dark morsel. Woo! All right, here we go. Oh baby. Oh baby, baby. Let's get a look-see. Up top. Looky, looky. Direct heat brisket. We still got a ways to come around back here on that side to get that color. But right now, all I'm trying to do is render fat. So now that she's flipped, I'm gonna stick it back in and close it. And there we go. We rocking still. I probably give it another 35 to 40 minutes like that. I probably give it another 35 to 40 minutes like that. And then I may wrap it. It's been 4 hours. So where I am as far as time and the way it temps, I'm good. But as far as feel, I need a little bit more fat render inside and a little bit more of that intramuscular fat to break down and the meat to tenderize a little more. So I'll come back to y'all in a little while. We just gonna keep it rocking. Later. All right, y'all, it's been 5 hours and I just felt this baby and it's feeling pretty good. The average temperature now with the probe is right around 185 or higher. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna wrap it. It feels pretty good all the way around. And I believe my fat render, as far as the fat cap on the outside, I believe that's gonna be pretty good to go. So what I'm about to do is I'm gonna pull it out and I'm gonna look at it, see how we're looking on this fat cap as far as visually, and because I know it feels really good, but I want to look and see just how rendered down this fat cap actually is. So still got that same little bit of charcoal in there and those 3 pieces of wood that I put in from the beginning. So let's see. It looks pretty good. This is the meat side. So let me see something. I want to look at my little tomahawk right here. I can't wait to eat that. I want that all by itself. All right, now I'm gonna turn it over. Ooh, I'm tearing that fat cap. That fat cap is pretty much gone. So I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this and we're gonna get this baby stuck back in here. So we're gonna wrap it. Give me a second. Yeah, y'all see me turning it and everything. I don't care about all that. But anyway. All right. There we go. Five hours so far, and it feels good. It's temping pretty good. I got some seriously rendered fat. Get this baby wrapped up, poke it back up in there, let it go for a little while longer. And I'm wrapping in foil because I am direct heat. When I did the last one, I wrapped in butcher paper and then I kind of foil bolted it. Also, this time I'm just going all foil. Fat cap is still down. So, whew. Got juice coming out there already? What no? Oh yeah, dang. This is supposed to be grill foil. And it's already ripped on the bottom. Ain't that some mess? That's okay. I'll just throw another piece on. Foil don't really cost too much. And I got quite a bit of foil, so. I just pretty much want the foil to be able to hold all of that au jus that's gonna come off of this baby. All right, now I'm gonna shove her back in. Spin this back around. Yeah, boy. All right. And there she goes. Back up in there. We're gonna let her rock and roll. Y'all see how that fire down there looking? Let me show y'all. This fire look like this at 5 hours and some change. The same 3 little pieces of wood and the same little bit of charcoal that I put in there from the beginning. I am really impressed on the way this thing cooks directly. So I know I'll be doing a lot more big cuts of meat directly over the fire in this thing. I like it. Really, really easy to do direct cooks in this thing. But anyway, we'll check with y'all later. Peace. Good morning, how everybody this morning? Steven at you again on Bam and GA Outdoors. Well, it's time to cut this old brisket, y'all. It rested all night, a long rest. The actual cook time on that thing was right at 7.5 hours. So that was pretty good. And I let it rest for a while, about 1.5 hours, got the temp down to about 175, and I put it in my little electric smoker, this little master built, and I held it there all night at 165. So I just want to see how that temp does. And I wasn't going to hold it as long as I had set it for. I got up a little early this morning so I can cut it and go on and do what I want to do with it. But we're going to get this thing cut and we're going to see how it turned out. Stick around with me. Hold on. All right, so yeah, I held it in foil because I didn't want to lose all my juice off of it. So that's why I did it that way. Last time I did one for Thanksgiving, I had wrapped it in butcher paper and then I kind of foil bolted it just to hold the juice. But I did it different. Hopefully I didn't get no like overcooked. It's a possibility, but we're gonna see. And get this baby cut real quick and see what our results are here. Remember, this was a direct heat brisket, cooked for about 7.5 hours, direct heat, and all right, ooh, okay, there it is, steam still coming up off of it. This was a no trim brisket, so I didn't trim it at all. Do this real quick. Ooh, that baby's soft. Oh. All right. And really, not a lot of juice coming off of that thing. That's weird. So I had said yesterday, I wanted to just cut this mohawk off and see what I got when I cut this mohawk off. So I'm not cutting this like a typical brisket. I'm gonna slice this mohawk off because I want to see what it looks like. I tell you, it smells so good. Oh man. Look at that. That's just a mohawk. Wow. Look at that. That is nice. Ooh, yeah. All right. Now let's go in right here. And let's slice it about right here. All right. See what this flat look like. That's how the flat looks this morning. Feels real good. I got a good fat render, I know that much. That's the flat. And whew, here's the point. Looks pretty good to me. Feels excellent to me in my hand. It actually feels a little over. And I'm gonna attribute that to being wrapped in that foil all night. I probably should have did butcher paper, but I didn't, so it's okay. I'm gonna cut this point. Got these thin ends down here, and they're a little bit tight down here as expected because it was direct heat. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna cut about right here and take this end off, okay? I do have a smoke ring, and I'm gonna chunk this little piece up. I got to where I don't cut my briskets like I see a lot of people cutting theirs, and I'm cool with that. So I think we'll go ahead and we'll slice this flat from this area. I can't slice straight. I've been having problems lately slicing straight. I don't know what happened. Yeah, I think it's a little bit over just simply from being in that foil, but definitely it's tender. Yeah, it's definitely over. Definitely over. This is a thicker piece. So let's get one of these. It just fell apart. So it definitely went over. So I know the next time, don't wrap it in doggone foil. Just go ahead and wrap it in butcher paper. I'm gonna taste this piece. And there it is. That highly flavored piece of beef. I'm gonna slide this over. That flavor is just unbeatable. So I'm gonna slice off on this point now. I'm actually gonna do something a little contradictory here. I'm gonna take this nose off this point. You can see that piece came right out of there. So it's over. All that fat, I'm loving it. So let's slice this. Look, it won't even slice because it's over. But the taste is so good. I kind of had a worry about that, but I just went on with it anyway. So I did get my fat rendered, that is for sure. So I'm gonna take the top piece of this right there. See all that smoke in there? This is so good. And since oh my gosh, there's smoke. I'm sorry, y'all. Since I don't have a lot of juice that came off of this for whatever reason, I guess because most of my fat rendered, I'm gonna put it in my tray, and I have some beef broth, beef stock that I'm gonna put on this. But that's how it came out, y'all. A little over. Don't leave it wrapped that long in foil. If you do, cook it to a lower temp, because my internals, when I pulled this, the internal average was a little bit higher than it should have been for me to wrap it in foil and leave it. I probably should have pulled it when it was about 190, and I didn't. It was well over 200. About 205 to 207. So that resulted in an overcooked, like a pot roast almost brisket, but it's gonna work out. I'm steady improving on this, but the direct fire method, man, look at the fat render. There ain't no fat, y'all. Look at the smoke ring. Look at that. That's just the way it is. This thing, look at all of this smoke in this thing. I'm just gonna keep cooking them direct heat until I get it perfected. I appreciate y'all watching. Won't be doing a Sunday smoke today. I did this yesterday, so this is just a continuation from that. I appreciate y'all watching. Y'all have a blessed day. Peace.